Hey, how's it going, guys? Carlos Cortez here. I hope you're doing well. Hey, I just wanted to talk about that you will own nothing and be happy. We're living those times right now. You will own nothing and you'll be happy. I wonder who said that. Oh, yeah. The communistic group, right, of World Economic Forum. We understand that. And as a matter of fact, it is happening right now as we speak. Like, there's no hiding it anymore. It's like, it's everywhere. You will own nothing and you'll be happy. It happens in my industry where personally, I had to let go of one of my licenses because they did not want me podcasting. They did not want me even offering safe money and alternatives to clients on Wall Street because they never got paid. So the thing with brokers is you never leave the stock market because they're not able to make money off of you. And I challenged the investment banks. I challenged a lot of the broker dealers, and this is why I had over 10, 15 different broker dealers in a span of 10, 15 years, because I wanted to practice safety of clients' assets. And all the big banks, all the banks, they did not want me practicing in that, and they could control me because I had this particular license, and they would threaten to take it away and mark my license and sue me and all this stuff. And I said, you know what? Let me just get rid of license, and then I can really take care of clients, and then I can walk away from the banks. And so here we are, 20 years later. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad that that they don't have that control. I've relinquished control, because you will own nothing and be happy has been the motto for many years, not just 2024. And so that's our discussion today, is how is the government intertwining in everything? How are they tracking, tracing, and control? You guys know I love those three words, track, trace, and control, because that's the end game. That's the end game. However that looks like in the medical field, however that looks in the pharmacy field, however that looks in the banking field, in compliance field, in the legal field, in the legislation. They just want to track, trace, and control you. And the whole nucleus of that, the whole aim of that is you will own nothing and be happy. So how much is Washington in bed with the World Economic Forum? Well, only you can decide that. Only us, we the people, can basically open our ears, open our eyes, so that we can hear what is being said, that is going to be seen. You can infer intent by the actions given. So if Bidenomics is creating such a massive detriment to the homeownership of America, you no longer could go to college, can't afford it. You can't get a job that pays for your rent or your mortgage, and you can't even save for down payment for a mortgage because A, you don't have the credit or the job to save for it. So now we're hoarding cash as economy. There's $6 trillion in the banks, and we know the banks are in shambles. They're hiding that too, like the Chinese government and during COVID. So Bidenomics is basically to the point where it's a detriment to all of America as well as the world. They don't raise interest rates. Guys, we're seeing more banks, more failures, more mortgage crises happening at the commercial level as well as residential level. We have more credit card debt, more. Just times it by times 10. And this could lead us into the greatest depression that we've ever had in America. When you have this stupid, idiotic, stupid-faced guy that makes me violent, I want to kick him in the face, destroying our beautiful country economically. The most beautiful thing about America is our capitalism, our freedom of enterprise. And then you got a generation that has adopted this ideology that socialism is going to get us all out of all this because we're promoting and demasculating America, where we have transgender people competing in sports, And we don't want to own the fact that we raised that. We allowed that. The illegal immigrant can come over and have a better life than a hardworking single mom or dad. Better than our military, who took a bullet in the butt to protect us so that we have freedom, so that we have a spirit of enterprise, so we have the red, white, and blue to stand on, so that we can sing the Star-Spangled Banner before every game. You can infer intent by the action given. And there is no action. And right now, they're looking at ways to steal the other election. Like, we're going to have to take America back. I mean, the conservatives, we've been so patient. We've been so patient. Now you see movies about civil wars, and I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. But I'm not worried about a crashing dollar. Not worried about a crashing dollar. Civil war will break out before that. This is how you hurt their pocketbooks. All the Democrats, all the people that hate America, you hurt their finances. How did Trump get rid of ISIS? Supposedly, he hit him. He attacked the oil. He hit him where it hurts. America is in shambles, man. We're putting up this facade. The feds are putting up this facade. They don't even know what they're doing right now. A 2-year Treasury note is paying 5%. The 2-year Treasury note is paying 5%. Basically, what that means, America, is that they no longer believe in the outlook. The future outlook of America is looking grim. The yield curve is inverted. That 5-year is supposed to pay a higher amount than a 2-year. Not a 2-year bond is supposed to pay higher than a 5. That's an inverted yield curve. 90% of the time when that happens, there is a massive recession. But it's not when that yield curve is exercised or has been manifested. It's when it uninverts back into a normal healthy yield curve. That's when the crap hits the fan. And typically that's about a 2-year wait. And we're right there with COVID. We're right there. And with banks being glim, we had the bank fund term program evaporated, where banks no longer can have this term funding. Bridge loans support the bridge loans basically covering their daily Fed funds rate to borrow against. Now they're going to have to borrow against, obviously, the Fed funds rate now. And this is rising as we speak. So what does this bring? It brings lack of new ownership to the marketplace. No longer can you go to college, get a job. $40,000 a year was typical nationwide. Getting a degree, you're in $150,000 in student loan debt. There's no jobs that will pay full time. All these job reports are fictitious. They're not even counting or distinguishing between what's full time versus part time. So the numbers are skewed. And then we can't even save for down payment on a new home. Marriages are all-time low. Divorces are all-time high. Children being born are all-time low. So we don't even have a future. Like, there's no future generation to carry our values. And then you got guys chopping off their penises saying they're women. I mean, like, we need a second Chronicles this mofo ASAP. We really need a second Chronicles this. Come back. You know, my people, obviously my people suffer from a lack of knowledge, but what it says in Second Chronicles is that we need to stop, repent, turn from our wicked ways, and then he will heal our land. And look, Trump is not the Messiah, guys. He's just the linebacker in the game that's going to stop a lot of this stuff. But he's not the Messiah. And so I want to just make sure that you have a heart check, knowing that, Trump is going to, I believe he's going to get out of the court system. They're going to try to scare him away. They're going to put all this pressure on him. And maybe he's the only one that's being used by God. But let's not get it confused, the calling versus the ministry. Has he been called to be the president? Hopefully he wins. But that's not our ministry, guys. That's not our ministry. God doesn't need Trump in order to handle his throne. God wants us to build his church and to protect what he has given us. So it's a whole change of mindset. And yes, I am voting. I will be voting for Trump. I got the gold sneakers. But he is not my savior. He is pro-America. I love that. I align with that. But let's not get it twisted, y'all, that we need more than a Trump. We need the Second Chronicles back in America. And as it comes to finances, we need to understand that Biden does not have America at his best interest. You can infer intent by the action given. So the first thing he did was he got rid of fossil fuels. How in the heck are you going to build an economy when you don't have diesel trucks? pushing weight. How are you going to build bridges and fund the green energy? Oh, you need fossil fuels to do your green gay energy. Yeah. And China, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they're building their own incentive map. They're building their own BRICS nation through diesel trucks and steel and nothing green energy. It is all coal. It is all like the industrial revolution all over there. They're building it out and they're using diesel fuel. They're doing it like how we did it, the American way, and we're getting away from that. I know I'm talking to the choir here, but get ready, guys. Get ready. There's not going to be any rate hikes. I mean, there's not going to be any rate cuts. If anything, I believe they're going to increase the rates. And so even woke media CNN business here, you can watch this or view this article. They're saying that what happens? They're already talking about what happens if they don't raise the interest rates. Oh, would you look at that? CNN is already doubting, already creating an article that, hey, just because the Fed says something doesn't mean they're actually going to do it. You can infer intent by the action given. You can infer intent by the action given. Or, I'm sorry, the results given, which is action. Same thing. Spend a lot of money to learn that one-liner, what it actually means if you unpack it. And you can use it all over the place. You can use it with your life, you can marriage, your business, relationships, new relationships, old relationships, family members. You can infer intent by the results given. Oh, I want to lose weight, Carlos. I want to do this. I want to do that. Meanwhile, they're stuffing their face with a bag of Cheetos and going right to McDonald's. Oh, yeah, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. Yeah, this shot's going to help me. And they take Ozempic shot, and they're still not changing the way they eat. They may be eating less, but they're still eating like crap. So therefore, your temple is looking like crap. You can infer intent by the results given. And right now, we can infer intent by the results given because these assholes are literally saying they're not going to raise the interest rates, or they are going to raise the interest rates, or they're staying stagnant. They're doing a complete opposite because their aim is the world economic agenda, is you will own nothing and be happy. We can infer intent by the actions given, by the results given. Look at the banking system. What have they done for the past daggone 24 months? Track, trace, and control. Everything it wants to be surveillance. They tried doing it during COVID, and this bank movement. It wasn't the Me Too movement. It was a privacy movement that America stood up, even hashtagged it on social media, and they stopped it. Where Joe Biden, you guys remember this? Where Bidenomics was like, if you are over $10,000, we're going to have to fill out a report. We're going to have to fill out a report on all your transactions. I'm like, every business owner should have over 10,000 that runs a legitimate business. that has employees is going to have a bank account over $10,000. So now you're going to create more headaches, more control, and we're going to have to pay for that. What compliance department that the government has is going to control the banking system and the auditing? What are they going to call it? Federal auditing services to monitor this? This is ridiculous. Like, why are we hurting the business owners that fund the economy, that pay the taxes? Just the dumbest thing ever, man. Like, we really need to understand that the CBDC is here, guys. Like, they want to track, trace, and control you. Like, that is the whole aim of everything, is to track, trace, and control you. So we know that there's a problem. We know that there's a massive, massive black swan event that is going to happen. There's no hiding from it. There's only protecting yourselves from it. So if I'm the weatherman and I tell you here in Florida, the hurricane's coming. Are you going to stay? You going to hunker down? Or are you going to cry about it and run to the hills? Maybe you cry about it and run to the hills. Either way, you took responsibility. Where are you taking responsibility at right now? Are you just saying, you know what, I'm going to wish for the best? My Merrill Lynch broker, my Edward Jones guy, my Fidelity guy, they've been good to me. They've been a great friend. They know what they're doing. But meanwhile, they're funding all this garbage. They're funding commercial lending. They're funding the woke agenda. They're funding LGBT promotion, Amazon, child pornography, like all these disgusting things that you don't even agree with. But then you complain about the return and you complain that America's falling apart when you're funding it. I don't think you have that right, man. I don't think you have that right. I don't know, just my opinion. I'm not here to cater to your feelings. I'm here to tell you the truth. So what we need to do as America is we need to understand, like, whatever the Fed tells us is freaking hogwash. Like, they want to get down to a 2% inflation. And because inflation is not at 2%, they don't know what to do with the interest rates. I think they're going to raise it up. The banks are going to hurt even more. Student loans are going to be a problem. Card notes are going to be a problem. Credit cards are just going to quadruple. Food, petroleum, even the cost of meats will just be so unattainably unaffordable where you can't even have access to it and you own nothing and be happy, where you have to rely on government assistance, which will be a track, trace, control on a blockchain that you're going to have it, and you're going to have this social credit score, and if you speak out against it, this is what communism is all about, is that you will be basically controlled by the government. They're feeding you money, they're feeding you food, and your own home is your own prison. Like, that's what they want. They don't want guys like you and I that have, Glock 45s just sitting on their desks or in their cars. They don't want us to have our freedoms. They don't. Prove me wrong. Comment below. Prove me wrong. Like, what is the next step? Are they going to take our guns? Are they going to take our retirement accounts? Are they going to take the money in the bank accounts? We need to start preparing. They already control social media. They already control pretty much everything. They have facial recognition software that is so accurate. They know all your whereabouts. What are they going to do with that information? So I get the question a lot, like, can they take your retirement account away? If you have a 401k IRA, you don't own it. You are a 401k. If you have a 401k, you're a participant. Your IRAs, the government feels like they own it because you never pay taxes on it. We have solutions at Cortez Wealth that you get to own your own bank. You get to own your own money. You are a participant. You don't have to have federal tax withholding garbage There's no retirement age. You own the account. You get to do what you want. You can leverage the assets. You just got to give us a call, man. We want to help. Hear us out. 813-448-3446 or visit us at cortezwm.com. We've helped thousands of people all across the country, our beautiful country. I love talking to all you guys because it's amazing. A lot of places I've never been in our country, and you guys tell me all these cool things, how the frogs chirp, how the weather is. It's completely different. We have such a beautiful country, and we're allowing stupid face to dictate, and we're complaining instead of doing something. We need to get on our knees and ask God to help us to repent, to give us the strength, to give us the freedoms back, to pick up our arms and stand what's right, and not fall into this victim mindset the left wants you to believe in. Oh, you don't care. You know what they say? Yeah, you know, the pro choice people, you know what they say? They say, you know, you guys are really pro-choice because as soon as a baby born, you don't follow up with it. There's no welfare programs for the children. That's what they believe in. Like we're quick to. They believe that we're quick to not help the child after it's born. It's not true. We have ministries that help. Even the Catholic Church is really good at this, where there's programs and foster care programs and all these programs that can help raise a child so they can be somebody one day and they can be an impact. Instead of killing them, let's help them. And that's what we believe. But the left has gotten it so twisted that they truly believe since there's no successful programs for that child won't have a mother or father, so let's kill it right now before he even has his first breath on this earth. We need to kill it in the womb. That's why they're pro-choice, because we have done a terrible job as a church to give them a pathway into living a impactful life. That's our responsibility, guys. So we need to work in our churches, work in some areas of humanity where we can adopt children, give them a place of schooling, give them a place of nurturing. I don't know what that looks like. But guys, we are called more than just money and NVIDIA returns and options trading. And I know how to do all that stuff. And life is just so much more than making money and being protected by money. Life is just so much more, man. Like, if you don't have your name in the book of life, what's the whole point? Like, what's the whole point of all of this? It's you never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take any of this stuff with you, man. You know, I could teach you about all this bank assets and avoiding the banks and making some great returns and living off those returns for the rest of your life. I can bring Salim and Tan, and they can talk about decentralizing your assets in the crypto market and making 300% a year. Like, that's real right now. You can do that right now. Obviously, it's not guaranteed, but they know ways that you could learn and take $100,000 or 50 grand, whatever money you got, no minimum, and live off the interest on these crazy returns that they're getting in the DeFi crypto space that the government does not want you to know about. All that doesn't mean nothing if your name is not written in the book of life. Bidenomics and you getting upset about this, and that doesn't mean nothing if you don't have your name in the book of life. Running out of food, track, trace, and control means nothing if you don't have your name written in the book of life. You will own nothing and be happy. You will own nothing and be happy. We see it. We see it and now they're going after credit unions, guys. Remember I said, oh, credit unions are much safer. They still are. But they're going after credit unions, community banks, They're trying to adopt the system. So if you have a credit union right now, after this podcast, go to your credit union, call them, just call them and say, hey, are you guys are adopting the Fed Now program? See what they say. I had a client in Oregon said she she asked the credit union and they had no idea what she was talking about. She was thrilled, absolutely thrilled. And the guy felt like really irresponsible because he's like, you sure? Because she caught him off guard because she knew more than he did about it. And this is a bank manager that runs the bank and the credit unions. Ask your bank, guys. Ask your bank. What do you think about the Fed Now program? A what? They're so asleep at the wheel. And they are in possession of your money. So when you put up money in your bank, you're relinquishing ownership to the bank. The bank can do whatever they want. You just are a beneficiary of that account where you have the ability to withdraw at their discretion on how much you can withdraw. Watch this video here.
I can't. Wait, I don't understand. What are you talking about?
So I will either give you a bank draft, or if you're gonna get cash, I will need an invoice for the car purchase.
Why? No, I'd like to. It's for the car's payments for in cash. I can't use a bank draft.
Are you buying from like a private?
Yeah, it's private.
person?
It's literally from my friend.
From your friend?
Yeah, but he wants it in cash.
Can he give you like anything that you purchase it from him?
No, I don't. You don't need that, bro. What is it? I'm only asking for 3. What is this? It's my money. I'm allowed to withdraw from my own bank account.
Yeah, so I can.
You said that. What's the maximum limit you can give a withdrawal to a customer? It's $3,000 on the date. You've already mentioned that multiple times.
Yeah, not today.
Why not today?
Today I would need a bank draft, or I would get you an invoice.
But what you don't? You need proof of what it is. Why is that? And why is that? Why is that? Why do you need me to tell you what it is? Why do you need? What kind of proof is that? I bring in a note. Like, how is that? What is that going to change? I don't understand.
So that would.
You need to give me my money. I'm not taking a bank draft. I would like cash, please.
Yeah, I won't be able to give you cash today.
Okay, wait. I'm just gonna sit here until you give me cash. So I'm not gonna leave.
Okay. Well, if you want, we can have a sit there.
And then do what? Who am I waiting for?
I can get the manager to talk to you.
Well, yeah, get the manager because this is it's unbelievable.
It's crazy, guys, because I've said it all day since day one of Scriptures on Wall Street. Like, you don't own the money in your bank. The bank determines how much they will give you. And on top of that, underneath that surface is something called the FDIC, where they get to dictate how much percentage they need in order to have FDIC insurance, which is 0.74 is what they need. So less than 1%. If you got $1 million in the bank, and there's some of you listening to that do, hey, what are you doing? Give us a call. We want to give you solutions on how you can make better returns than the daggone banks and keep it safe out of the hands of the bank. 0.74, man. So if you got $1 million in the bank, they're only allowed $74,000 to protect your $1 million. So go ahead and take $1 million out of that bank and switch banks, see what they do. They will say, well, we need a week or we need a few days, because they don't have it. They don't have it, man. They're ready to loan it out. So this hyper-digitization world, it's evolving as we speak, from our cars to our real estate to everything. The hyper-digitization is real, guys. And this is why you already are in a CBDC. You're basically, what's going to happen is, this is going to go down to a state level, and you're going to have to do business in a state where they don't allow CBDCs. It's already happened one time with insurance companies. Insurance companies cannot do business with you unless you're in a certain particular state, and the state gets to control the insurance laws. And this is why I say state chartered banks are a lot better and healthier for you and the protection of your money than a regional bank that is all over the place. The state chartered banks are ran tightly, very, very tightly, just like the insurance companies. So we want to give you portfolio insurance. We want to make sure that you're not losing money to this next Black Swan event we're going to have, because it's coming, dude. It's coming. Like, you can infer intent by the actions given. Yeah, we have that yield curve inverted, but once it uninverts, that's when crap hits the fan, dude. like, give us a call, man. We want to give you at least a solution. If you have money in the stock market and you don't know what to do, that's what we specialize in. We want to protect your money. That doesn't mean you can't stop making money. We want you to grow your accounts, because as you grow, we grow with you. But more importantly, you're securing your portfolio through indexing and insurance contracts, and you have the ability to buy precious metals if you believe that precious metals are going to continue to soar. Gold is soaring, silver's going up. I already said that silver's going to go past 30, and it's doing that. Gold is skyrocketing. But the thing is, you have to be willing to sell it at an all-time high. And right now, there's a boatload of people selling their gold at pawn shops. There is an all-time high of people selling their gold at the pawn shops. And you can look at this article here. I mean, there's articles all over it talking about it. So what are you going to do today? Protect your retirement. And I'm not talking about buying precious metals inside of an IRA. I'm actually saying, what are you doing today to protect your money from the stock market? Because Bidenomics is real. You will own nothing and be happy. That's what Bidenomics is all about. Don't listen to what the media is saying or the feds is saying. They're all in it. You can infer intent by the results given, right? Track, trace, and control, that's what they want to do because they're freaking communists. They don't believe in what you and I believe. They don't believe that the American soldier literally died, stopped his heart, left his family, left his wife and beloved kids to be a sacrificial vessel for our country. The government truly doesn't honor that anymore. You can infer intent by the result given because they're crapping on their graves every time they don't allow us to have our freedoms, our freedom of enterprise, our freedom of financial freedoms. What's next? The ability to stop our faith, the freedom of religion. Like, what amendment are they going to try to bastardize and take away from us? We need to start being bolder, guys. Bolder in our faith, bolder in our money, bolder in our actions. You can infer intent by the results given. That means we need to be bolder. Second Chronicles, this America, ASAP. Anyways, that's my message today, guys. Isaiah 25:9. In that day, they will say, surely this is our God. We trusted in him, and he saved us. This is the Lord, we trusted in him. Let us rejoice and be glad in his salvation. Other translations say, be glad in him. Basically, we got to hold the line. We got to hold the line. We got to be patient. And honestly believe that that's what God requires of us. Be still. Be patient. And you know what's interesting is that this dawned on me earlier today. Love is what? Love is patient. Love is kind. And when he died on that cross, he was patient. He showed patience. He could have been angry at the Roman soldiers that nailed him to the cross, to the Jews that disrespected him, that killed him. But more than anything, it was his grace that we marvel out. But he was such a man of patience and strength. I love that about Jesus. But let's be patient. Let's be still. We definitely need to understand that our name needs to be, our responsibility is that we need to have our names written in the book of life. And we need to make sure many people that we know that their names is written in the book of life. Because they're coming at us, man. They're coming at us. And God has already in Isaiah has told us that do not be dismayed. He'll never leave us. He'll never forsake us. And that is God's promises, guys. Like, all this thing can go to hell in a handbasket, but at the end of the day, God has us in the middle of his palm. He'll never leave us. He'll never forsake us. And he tells us more than 365 times not to worry, but yet we're worrying. We're worrying they're going to steal the election. We're worried about who freaking cares who the president is. It has no bearing on our faith. How about that? Why don't we just stop saying who cares is the president? Yeah, we're going to vote one way, but who freaking cares? God is the president. Period. His word is a final word. That is so true. All right, so we're in the CBDC. Great, yay. You have precious metals. Yay. You bought a solar panel generator. Yay. You're still going to die. What's the scoop there, man? Are you making heavenly deposits, or do you care more about the deposits here in America? Because you know what God says about the heavenly deposits. So we need to make more heavenly deposits, guys, because those last eternity. Well, I just want to say I appreciate you guys. I'm actually going to be on Lundell Network as well as Stu Peters Network. And I'm closing up with Elijah, but we're bringing on Lundell, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I will always be here with Stu. He's my homie, and I'm going to be signing a long-term deal with him as well. But I love you guys, and I'll continue doing this for as long as God has called me to do it, for as long as I financially can do it. And I will be standing against the Luciferians on Wall Street with scriptures, because supposedly they're not allowed to be on that street. And I disagree. I think we can be a light in a dark place anywhere. So, anyways, God bless you guys. I'm out of here. I'm actually taking my kids to the Lightning game, so I'll share some pictures next podcast. And you guys know I love hockey. Go Lightning. So we'll talk soon. God bless. Don't forget to give us a call, 813-448-3446, or visit us our website at cortezwm.com. And just remember, everything on this podcast is not financial advice. I am a financial advisor, but everything on this podcast should be used for investment and education purposes only. If you would like financial advice, give us a call, 813-448-3446. God bless you. I'm out of here.